If you are a spiritual practitioner, then before September 1st of 2025, you may find yourself going back to the origins of why you started practicing what you practice in the first place. Saturn retrograde right now is in Aries. It will on September 1st re-enter Pisces. Now, right now we also have the North Node in Pisces. Interesting. Jupiter is in Cancer. Now, Cancer is ruled by the moon. However, the lunar nodes are interactive with our moon cycle. So the North Node being in Pisces is also going to be interacting with the Cancer placements, which includes right now Jupiter. So will the South Node, but we're going to focus on the North Node. The North Node in Pisces is asking us to find this really, really big picture purpose for the next 9-ish years for our spiritual practices, doing different things, not understanding exactly where we're going, but understanding that there is a destination of some kind. We may not have all the tools, we might not have the people yet, we might not have the understandings, we might not have a lot, okay, but we know. And we know where we want to go, we know what Spirit's telling us, we know what maybe the initiation rite is that we're asking ourselves to walk through. There's a lot of different ways that this could be explained. And the reason that it's 9 years is because that's when the South Node would then enter Pisces, grounding this big purpose of spiritual transition on the Earth for us. Now, Saturn retrograde in Aries. Let's go back to that for a moment. Saturn retrograde is about looking back, reconsidering details, reconsidering what has already happened. Being in Aries, we are reconsidering the beginning. Where do we start? Why do we start? What is the purpose of that? Now, Jupiter gets thrown into the mix because Jupiter has a lot to do with seeds. From the beginning, when we find it, how was the seed grown throughout our life? If you're going back to the beginning, and sometimes the beginning is before us, is before you. It could be something that your parents were practicing. It could be something that's been practiced within your lineage. It could be something that you are relating to society and the practice and origin of that way back from the ancestor. It probably also is going to have a beginning point in your life as well. It could be a ritual, it could be an introduction, it could be a relationship. The origin, though, that's going to be kind of like the pinpoint. So before September 1st, before Saturn retrograde moves back into Pisces, and before we really start to kick into, okay, let's make these transitions, that Saturn retrograde in Aries with Spirit is asking us to get a really clear picture of the origin of where we started the practice, why did we start the practice, why was the tradition started? And with the Jupiter and Cancer being influenced by that lunar node in Pisces, then what is going to be that transition? How did that origin grow through the year? Kind of a lot, at least for me, it has been. Spirit's been asking me to look at a lot of really big picture stuff. The way my parents were practicing before I was born, ancestral connection, and lots of other redirections, including personal anchor points in my story of when I got introduced to certain practices. So before September 1st, clear view picture. This is the origin, this is why I've been growing it, how I've been growing it, and this is what has become of it right here and right now. Do I wish to continue? Do I need to alter it somehow? Maybe, and I'll reflect on this on a personal level as well, maybe there's a new initiation that Spirit is offering to you, a new rite in the Spirit, a new something to brew, a new practice, a new tradition, a new community, new, right? For me, the conversation with Spirit has been about initiation. However, relate as necessary. That might not be true for everybody. Or if you the reason I say that is because in my opinion, claiming initiation is a really, really serious thing to do. So that's what I'll say about it. Yeah. But going back to that conversation with Spirit has been having me look back at the origin. Now that you see the origins, and we're going to continue to look at them, me and Spirit, we're going to continue to look at them before we get to September 1st to make sure that I'm really sure. Do you know about the origin? Do you see how it's been grown? Do you understand where you come from, where the practice comes from, where the tradition comes from, where the people and the folk might come from? Do you understand why maybe your ancestors were involved with that practice? Do you understand also what will the plant look like if it continues to grow? What will the seed look like if it continues to grow? Does it need a different environment to grow in? Etc., etc. There's lots of questions to ask after that, right? Right. But just get ready to reconsider some practices and some purposes. It's a lot of origin-ready sort of spaces. And by looking at those origins, we also gain clarity on what our initiation rite or the new practice or the tradition or whatever it is that we're walking into and how it could continue to grow in the future. We're also understanding what that could cost us. Because you see the origin, you see the environment the origin was in, the people, the folk, the community, the tradition, the space. Lots of other words, right? Lots of other things to consider about that environment, and then how it's been grown since then because you've been practicing it and sitting with it. Okay, well, what's it cost you so far? What have you seen with the death? What have you seen with sacrifices? Probably those will be more a part of your life sometime in the future. And what have you seen with the good stuff? Okay, more than likely that's going to be a part of your life in the future too. So we have this really big reconsideration on like what traditions are we partaking in and why, which is that's a ginormous question, like such a big question, especially for a practitioner. You're telling me we're looking at the traditions of a practice and how far it goes back and why it goes back and where it's from, and that's a lot. That's a lot, especially if you are someone who partakes in a lot of different, spaces of practice. Then, oh boy, that's going to be a big question. But in that big question, you're probably going to find some indicators of the future and is helping us, thank you Saturn, to not be lost. And if you're not lost, you do know the cost. What is going into this new space or this new vision that I have for my future and my spiritual practices, and this is what I want to do? What is that going to cost me? And where does it come from? So gratitude, reverence, and love to you. Keep up the brew that you do. I for sure will too. Lots of changes. Lots of changes to come. This is really, before September 1st, a checkpoint. Are you sure you want to keep going? Are you sure? Because you can't keep going. But we gotta check in and make sure first. So keep up the brew that you do. I will too. And I'll talk to you soon. Also true.